Smitty, are we worried about Breece Hall, the number 2 running back in fantasy football, now that Braelon Allen's in town, Smitty? Let's talk about it.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So, if anybody doesn't know, breaking news. Braelon Allen is now in New York, and there are panicked Peters everywhere. Now, dare I go out on a limb and say I highly doubt people are as panicked that Braelon Allen is in New York for Breece Hall as they are Blake Corum for essentially Kiron Williams, or also Devon Achane's now looking at he's got a potential thorn in his side in Jalen Wright. I don't think people are as panicked. I venture to say we're going to get very few, if any, people in here that say, yeah, I'm worried about this or anything like that. Maybe he loses 2 or 3 touchdowns on the year, goal line carries, potentially, and maybe not. I mean, doesn't even mean this guy's even going to be the backup. He could be the 3rd running back. His draft capital is not crazy. It's not like they're highly invested in him. But this is the same theme. I could have did one video on this if I wanted, but I wanted to make sure I captured everybody's attention for each of these 3 situations, and I'm even talking about all 3 in all 3 of the videos. So you can watch my Achane video, you can watch the Breece Hall video, you can watch the Kiron video, and there's certainly amazing content inside each of those videos that's self-contained, not in the other videos. So I'm not trying to suggest you only need to watch one of these, but I am going to address every single one of these scenarios in each of these videos. So you're going to see some of this repeated. No one's worried about Braelon Allen. Not if you know what you're doing. If you're not a casual, you're not worried about Braelon Allen. There's a reason I was not overly excited about this rookie running back class. The only running back that has tremendous year 1 value is, well, two running backs. Is Trey Benson in Arizona, and he doesn't even have the keys to the lineup yet, but James Conner is freaking 29 years old and has a big, long injury history, on top of the fact that he really had a bad year for the most part until the tail end of it. You could say he's bringing momentum in, but the fact that he didn't play well all year until the end of it, and he was on and off the field, at 29 years old, it's a matter of time before he goes out and plays pedestrian football or gets injured, or both. The likelihood of Conner not getting hurt and not playing pedestrian football at 29, given what happened last year, I think is slim to none. The moment he starts playing pedestrian football or gets hurt, Trey Benson gets shoved in, and once they shove him in the lineup, they're not taking him out. So this is a case of maybe a top 10 running back in Arizona in Trey Benson by week 4, week 5, week 6, week 2, week 1. We don't know. Maybe Conner gets banged up in the preseason. This is the best running back out of the rookies in the National Football League for the long term and for 2024. Now, I do like Jonathan Brooks a lot. I think Carolina is a very, very good spot. But Carolina, even though they've done amazing things in this draft, A+ draft for both the Cardinals and for the Carolina Panthers, or an A- for the Carolina Panthers maybe, and an A+ for Arizona, because I think Arizona does need to distinguish itself from the other scores. They're the highest graded draft in this entire 2024 NFL draft. And you can't say that's biased, because I've never ever liked the Cardinals draft in the last 5, 6, 7 years. Okay, I've given them horrible scores. I constantly am critical of this organization. So for me to say this, you know it's true. My boy Yarks even came in earlier and said if he's speaking good about the Cardinals, he really believes it. And this is the first time I've been excited about this team actually putting it all together in quite some time. This is an arsenal right here. And boy, did the Cardinals also draft defense. They improved this entire team in one draft. It was the most amazing draft I've ever seen for an organization. Didn't hurt to start off with the number 4 pick. But my point here is that Benson is the only rookie running back that has tremendous value from the jump. Even if you say, okay, Connor starts it out the year, he might even get like 10 carries in week 1. He might get none. I don't know. But this is the guy to own. Very, 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 very much love the Jonathan Brooks pick, but it isn't Trey Benson. Not only is it not Trey Benson's landing spot, but, you know, health-wise, we're worried about that. So I like Jonathan Brooks as the running back too. Tremendous future. Late start. He could have a late start too. But when we come back to this scenario here, or if we are talking about this scenario right here, or if we're talking about, I don't know if I have even the other graphic to throw on screen, this scenario right here. So if we're talking about all 3 of these scenarios, let me put all 3 of them on the screen at the same time because they all deserve to be talked about. If we're talking about Breece Hall, we're talking about HN, we're talking about Kiron, your boy has no concern. If I had to like rate my concern in order, I would say 0 concern here. And I think all of you should feel that way too. No one should be worried about Breece Hall getting affected by Braelon Allen, who's got to earn the number 2 spot, let alone anything else. This is Tank Bigsby. This is Tank Bigsby. This is Tank Bigsby. If anybody thinks this guy, Blake Corum, stealing the job away from a healthy Kiron, you're out of your mind. There's a casual school over here. You can go to casual school. They're accepting free entrance. You don't even need to take a test or anything. It's called Casual USA. Go check it out, because there's no way either of these 3 running backs, these pedestrian running backs that we all liked, if they were in the right situation, and they are not. They are backup running backs by default, de facto backups, not guaranteed anything, not great draft capital, decent draft capital, not good draft capital. These teams are not sitting here going, this is our new starter. This is a guy they want. Okay, if Kiron, we run him like crazy. No one's denying that McVay could run Kiron a little bit into the ground, have a shorter career, still top 10 dynasty overall player to me. Oh, Smitty, you're going to draft Kiron in the top 10 dynasty? You bet your bottom dollar I'm still drafting Kiron in the top 10 in dynasty. Not to mention I can cuff these 2 in dynasty and redraft and best ball in whatever I want. I can cuff these guys so easily. I am securing up everything that's scaring people about it. The same thing here. Braelon Allen's going to be free. He's going to be free. Why would anybody be concerned about Braelon Allen when he's free? Cuff him. Why would anybody be concerned about Jalen Wright when he's free? Cuff him. You got Mostert, cuff him to Mostert. You got HN, cuff him to HN. Anybody worried about Blake Corum taking the job from arguably the best between the tackle running back in the National Football League has a problem. At least I have a problem with that, and I'm sending that person and all the people that are to come running into the live stream, getting all upset, Fragile Freddy's, Worried Williams, Petrified Peters, you're taking a lap. There is nothing in the world scaring me less than these 3 situations. And the fact that we've got Petrified Peters probably driving this guy's value down, maybe a draft slot if we're lucky. Okay, this live stream tonight is to kind of hammer home a couple Worried Williams, and to kind of just make sure everybody hears what I'm saying, because I'm sure even if you believe what I'm saying in your own head before the live stream even began, right? You're thinking the same thing I am. You just want to hear my take. This is my take. My take is we are seeing this eye to eye. Logical people are seeing the Breece Hall, Braelon Allen situation eye to eye. It's a great cuff. Great cuff. Breece Hall misses 2 games and he's up to speed. He's a great player to throw into your running back 2 or flex spot. No doubt about it. I'm trying to get to these super chats immediately when they happen. David Klein coming in strong, dropping a wad on screen.
Alert. Super chat alert. alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you, David. We're not doing a briefcase dump unless we get, we get the use. I'm just getting some of the bills out to throw around. Thank you, David. Appreciate you. David is the man, the myth, the legend, coming in strong with a wad to start off the show. He says, I'm in a full PPR 1 QB. Got offered Charbonnet, Musgrave, and Waddle for my 2024 2.4, 2.11, 2.12, and my 2025 first rounder, which should be the 1.12. Yes or no? Yes. Take Waddle for a late first rounder. I would. If it can help you win, I would take Waddle. I like Musgrave a lot. The 2.4, man, what if you land something like even remotely amazing, kind of Tank Dell-ish? You get a Ricky Parasol, you get a Lab McConkey, you get, you could get any one of these backup running backs we're talking about. I don't mind this trade at all. I think Waddle's got some solid value enough to say give me Waddle for a late first rounder. Does anybody in the chat disagree? I guess if you're stacked at wide receiver, then of course I wouldn't. Like if you're going to be struggling to start Waddle, then of course I wouldn't do this. But I kind of feel like Waddle, if you threw Waddle into this draft class, there's no way he's falling to 1.12. There's no way he's falling to 1.12. Smitty has a cricket and ping pong channel, says Ryan. I don't know. Is that a dad joke? Like, what is that? What is that? Okay. Back on point here. Thank you, pal, for your $20 hauler. Anybody want to drop a comment in terms of that question? Does anybody disagree? You throw Waddle into even this draft. He's not lasting to 1.12. Give me Waddle. Give me Waddle. And I'm not even huge on Waddle. I'm not even a big Waddle guy, but I feel like that's a pretty solid move. Early second is very nice this year in the rookie draft. Good depth minus. Yeah, I mean you get the shot at a 2.4. I think it'll be pretty decent. Okay. And when you think about it, 2.4, how far is that from 1.2? 5 picks? Like, what if you do end up giving away this 2.12? Who cares? You know what I mean? So, or 1.12 comparatively to the 2.04 that you're getting. All right, so back on point. Look, no one's worried about this. At least you shouldn't be. And most of you probably came in here wanting to hear my take on it. You're wanting to hear reassurance. You got it. You got it. Breece Hall to the moon.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a whole of a job. A whole of a job. A whole of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon. Get Breece.
Not worried about Breece Hall. One single bit. Not worried about Breece Hall. He's 8 feet tall. He's an absolute marvel. Nobody should be worried about Breece Hall. Cuff Braelon Allen if he even becomes the backup. We don't even know that yet. Okay, cuff him if he's there. Fantastic player if he's up to speed, if he's ever missing time. Every running back, expect him to miss 1 or 2 games. Achane, expect him to miss 1 or 2 games. If Jalen Wright's up to speed and he's the clear number 3 running back, he's the clear backup to Mostert. Mostert might even go down and Wright goes right in and plays well, and it doesn't affect Achane at all. Achane's like the Deebo Samuel, the inverse version of Deebo Samuel in Miami Mike McDaniel's offense, a coach that came from the Shanahan tree. Very much helped design and architect Deebo's role anyway, if anybody didn't know that. Miami Mike is very much responsible for helping architect the Deebo Samuel role. So you've got this kind of Deebo Samuel-esque player that is cemented into the offense more than Mostert is, more than Wright is. And if Wright's going in to take any work, it's not going to be Achane. So let people doubt this all they want and drive him from what appears to be on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Drop a draft right now on Underdog. I'm going to give you the link right here, and you can definitely make sure you click this link and sign up, because we'll be doing drafts constantly on Underdog. They may have even dropped the Best Ball Mania tonight. Might have to come back and maybe do one of those. If not, definitely tomorrow. Hit that link right there. They'll double your first deposit up to $100, but It's a $10 minimum. Just click the link and sign up now so you're not scrambling when we do a draft tonight or tomorrow. We'll definitely, if the manias are available, we'll do a draft tomorrow. But you know, you're probably seeing Achane, who's right around 16, 17, 18, 19 overall, dropping to at least the tail end of round 2, potentially breaching into round 3, depending on how reactive all of the reactive Rogers, the angry Anguses, the regretful Rogers. It just depends on the knee-jerk reaction. And as far as Breece Hall, I don't think he even moves, but if he moved a position at all, it'd be one draft slot, because people are like, well, I wonder if he's going to lose goal line carries. It's a stupid way to look at it. He'll be fine. And this is the one player that, because the pedigree is concerning to people, because he's got low draft capital, and because people think McVay's going to break him, because people think that he just, he rose up and it pisses people off. They didn't see him coming. They just think, oh, Kiron, I didn't see it coming. I'm going to root against him because I rooted against him when he was on the come up. And I just continued to dig a hole deeper and throw more bad after bad and just think, oh, this is going to change. And then I'll feel better about my early evaluation of doubting him. That's all it is. That's all it is for anybody. If you hate Kiron Williams, you hate him because you hate part of yourself that neglected and didn't buy into this man's rise, and you're just so bitter about it. You're going to continue to pile on the hate and say, Kyron's not good. Kiron can't do this. Kiron can't do that. Kyron's not good for fantasy football. And Blake Corum's better at 0 compared to Kiron. He's not a better pass catcher. I don't care what anybody says. Just because they don't throw to him enough, they need to throw to him more, but they don't throw their running backs as much as we would like. That's not going to change because of Blake Corum. They need to throw the ball to him more. I agree. But this guy, even though I like Blake Corum, he's got heart, he's got tenacity, he's got grit, he's a great teammate, he's a great person from all accounts. There's a lot to like about Blake Corum as a backup, as a great cuff, but he is 0 things better than Kiron. 0 things better than Kiron. Not a better pass catcher, not a better runner. He's not stronger. He's not more physical. He doesn't have better instincts. He's got none of those things. In fact, some of his college metrics were very, very average. And while I like him, and I think that in McVay's system, he would get the most out of him if he ever needed to start him. If Kiron missed 2, 3, 4 games, it's a great cuff. It's a great cuff. It's a must cuff. And you should be ashamed of yourself if you don't grab Corum, who will be double-digit round, attainable, because who's going to draft a backup running back higher than that? Nobody. So if you don't cuff these two, it's your own fault, because I'm telling you to. I'm telling you it's important. And having Corum and Kiron together with a lower Kiron ADP and cost of entry, so instead of 13, 14 overall, you have to grab Kiron at 18, 19, 20, or you're lucky enough that people react so badly, because you can just even read the chat. People will be upset. Like even Corum isn't stronger, okay, with crying emojis. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so amazing, the hatred and doubt toward Kiron Williams. And Prime, you tend to doubt and kind of go against the grain a lot anyway. I'm not surprised by your comment. There are so many people that we've seen over the last 24 hours, especially when I dropped the Kiron video, that immediately the first 3 or 4 commenters, different people, were negative toward Kiron. I have a feeling this thing's going to spin out of control in a good way for us. But to have Blake Corum with the lower, near 3rd round, maybe even 3rd round cost of entry on Kiron, that is better than having Kiron at 13 overall. It's the same recipe as Walker and Charbonnet last year. And don't let that one fool you, because it didn't necessarily work out. It didn't work out because of the way they used their RBs, not because of the way they used Walker and Charbonnet. Charbonnet was not a threat. Even when Charbonnet was leaned on, he didn't really do much at all to kind of take control of the situation. it was 100% smart to just cuff the two of them. It lowered Walker's value into a round 5, round 6, and he was practically free at that point when you really think about what you're getting. And he played like a top 5 running back for the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. Your boy came in and said it's time to trade him, unfortunately, because we didn't like the way he was getting fed. We loved the touchdowns. The touchdowns were really, really in surplus, but it didn't feel like it was going to stick and hold. And so he did become a mid-season trade for us, and it was the right move. Unfortunately, I hated to come in and do it, but people were upset when I said time to maybe move Walker on the high. Smitty, he's playing like a top 5 running back. You said draft him. He's been amazing. Why would we trade him? Because he was surviving on touchdowns, and it wasn't sustainable. And you can't worry about that didn't work out, so you're going to see the same thing here, or the same thing here, or the same thing here. But the real beauty in what's going on here is the cost of entry of Achane, Kiron, and maybe a little bit Breece Hall. They're going down, but the risk is not going up. It just appears to be. People are confused, and that's okay. We're here to take advantage of it. The phone lines are open. Dial into the attic phone lines. Dial in.
Call into the show.
Dial in. I love that people are going to doubt this kid. It's probably my favorite storyline right now. There's not much better than a doubted Kiron Williams, who is attacking this offseason like a straight up monster, like a beast, and people are going to be so upset at themselves. See, look at all these comments. Crackshot, you know I love you, pal, but honestly, Kiron is replaceable. Corum, don't worry about college bench presses, bro. Kyron's a monster now. He's changed everything. Stop trying to compare their college prospecting. You didn't even know who Kiron was as a rookie. So Prime, I don't care about their college bench press. I care about what Kyron's doing in the pros. I care about what Kyron's already become. Kyron's stronger, faster, better pass catcher, better runner, better instincts, NFL ready. He's completely cemented into the running back 1. You can doubt him all you want, Prime. I hope you continue to. I hope you tell every single person you know. Let people rain on the parade. Get a running back for low. Absolutely rock out. Rock out to the moon. Appreciate you, my guy. I'm telling you, we had somebody come in here and say there's no way Kyron's falling to the 3rd round. Look at the doubt. It's literally everywhere. It's literally everywhere. Kiron and Breece. Yes, that's right. That's right, pal. Yeah, ADPs have not adjusted yet at all. Not at all, bro. He looked replaceable. Where's that comment? I'm sorry, Crackshot, but you made your own bet on this one. You made your own bet on this one, bro.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
Jeez. I mean, what do you do when someone drops a ridiculous comment like that? Sebastian from Cali, you're live.
Yo, Smitty, I'm pretty stoked. Just with the whole draft, the NFC finally got a lot of love this year. I feel like Smitty really killed it. But anyways, I'm going to have to slightly disagree with you on Trey Benson. I don't know about top 10. I could see maybe top 12, top 15, just because that's a really high expectation for a lower draft capital, and that offense is still improving. He definitely could hit top 10, but I'm seeing more like top 12, top 15.
Well, top 10, top 12.
Assuming that Connor's down.
Top 10, top 12 is not that far apart, my guy. And nor do I, no offense, Sebastian, but nor do I care. Because I actually prefer that you and a whole lot of people disagree with me. Because that means that, guess what? Trey Benson is an absolute steal. And I'm going to take advantage of it at every turn. And unfortunately, in my job is to try and convince as many people. But I don't worry about me. I worry about you guys. So at the end of the day, I'm going to continue to beat the drum and beat a dead horse on it. But I'm going to smile every time I continue to see doubters. Do you know how much doubt Like, if we went back and watched Jahmyr Gibbs' live stream where I said he was going to be this and I said he's going to be that, or I went back, especially Breece Hall. If you go back and watch my 2023 last year, yeah, the Breece Hall videos, the doubters that said not this year, not with the ACL Smitty, ACL tear. Don't tell me about ACL tears. It's so funny people try and fantasy explain me on an ACL tear. I've been doing this 25 years. I understand what an ACL tear does to a player, when a player is capable of bouncing back from it, when they're not, when they need an extra year, when they're rushing it, when they're not. And I tried to explain to everybody that Breece Hall was so far ahead of schedule. He was like a person that was entering his second year in terms of where his body was in relation to the ACL recovery. And if we went back and watched that live stream, it would be hilarious to watch all the doubting Donnies that were talking about that. And I don't really care at the end of the day if I can only say it as many times as I say it. I can only yell as loud as I yell it. And some people are going to take advantage. And quite honestly, it's better when a lot of people doubt, like continuously. Like, it'd be better if Trey Benson continued to get doubted, because then my Trey Benson content wouldn't mean anything. Similar to my Trey McBride content now. Like, my Trey McBride content doesn't really even, like, what am I even saying anymore? Let me show you the Mars man. Hold on.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars man.
Like, case in point, when I talk about McBride, what do we hear now? Well, that's obvious, Smitty. Like, McBride, he's going really high now. So, like, I don't want Benson to climb, because then I can't create Benson content. I can't really create McBride content. And McBride's going to, I mean, I'll still do it, but everyone's not surprised. They're going, oh, you're right on McBride. He was going at like 68 overall on Underdog. I think he was even in the 70s at one point in January, February. And I believe it was somewhere around March he started to climb. And I'm pissed off about it. Like, I wish that people still doubted McBride as much as they were doubting him in January and February and March. And now everybody's on board that train. So I welcome your doubt of Trey Benson, bro. Benson's got a little Breece Hall to his game. I don't think he's Breece Hall. Breece Hall's top 1 to 5 overall capable. Benson's more of that, like I said on the Cardinal live stream, Benson's more of like a 8 to 15 overall player, capable. Not locked in yet, but capable. Like, this is Marshon Lynch. Marshon Lynch was never drafted 1 or 2 overall. That type of player. Whereas Breece Hall's the Marshall Falk, or the Tomlinson, or the Arian Foster, or the Christian McCaffrey. Breece Hall can go 1 overall. So they're very different players, and their upsides are different, but there's nothing wrong with the Marshon Lynch, like a 12, 13, 14, 15 overall player. Kind of where we were drafting Najee when we all really believed in Najee. That's what this kid's value is going to kind of be. And I think that if you start worrying about a 30 or a 29-year-old James Conner who played like dog crap for a majority of the year, I think this might be James Conner's. That's DeAndre Swift. By the way, DeAndre Swift played like basically shit the entirety of the season after week 6. So anybody thinking he's going to do something in Chicago, I got some bad news. I got real bad bedside manner, and I got some bad news. He's gonna fail, because he got run into the ground in Philly. He was not a between the tackle running back, and even though we loved him and we hoped he would stay healthy, we were all holding our breath right here. We're not gonna lie. They should have thrown to him more. They didn't. They just ran him between the tackles. What they wanted to do with him, they're going to do with Barkley, and they're going to be able to do it well with Barkley. But look at this production. It was absolute straight garbage. Swift has been like, it's almost like you're buying a used car, and that car was just absolutely trashed and abused, and the next person that gets it, it's going to run right into the ground. The wheels are going to fall off. You better get a warranty with Swift, because he's going to fall apart. Let me see if this is James Conner. Here's James Conner. James Conner was absolute trash for a majority of the season. 20, 15. The 6 was good in week 3. Running back 6. 36, 38. Didn't play. 34, 27, 40. This is one good game through week 12. Then he turned it on here, because the Cardinals was started to come together. Kyler was cooking, getting back at least. And you had a 5 overall running back play here. Bye week 11, 4-4-1. Week 18 is very tough to include. You could say he's coming off momentum, But at 29 years old, missing 4 games and playing like trash for the majority of the year, I'm going to bank on he's either going to play pedestrian or he's going to get hurt. One of these two things is happening at some point during the year. And when you draft a guy, and I disagree with your low draft capital sentiment, I get it. He's not, second or first round draft capital worthy, but we're talking about a third rounder, bro. We're not talking about 6th round, 5th round. There's nothing demeaning or low value in a 2nd or a 3rd round running back. You start getting into the 6th and 7th round, round 5, you could say something along those lines, although it doesn't necessarily matter. Like in McVay and in Kiron's case, Kiron's already shaken free of that concern. There's no draft capital conversation that a smart person can have, a logical person, a person that knows what they're talking about, a person that knows ball. There's no draft capital conversation to be had with Kiron Williams. Kiron's already gotten past all of that. McVay absolutely loves him. Kiron Williams is going to absolutely explode this year. And I still predict him to be the league's leading rushing yardage leader, and he's going to be in the mix for the most rushing touchdowns. He had 12 TDs in 12 games on the ground, 15 total touchdowns in 12 games. Kiron's going to beast out. But Trey Benson, mark my words, bro, at some point during the season, maybe earlier than we expect, but by week 5, 6, 7, Trey Benson gets in there. You don't put him in and take him out. He's going to get in there, and he's going to be dynamic. He's going to catch passes. He's going to run. He's going to be a top 12, top 15 overall type player coming into his 2nd year. I love Trey Benson. I think he's going to be a 2nd round running back in 2025.
Yeah, I have one more question. I know you were talking about getting the handcuffs, and obviously it's like really safe, and you want to be a part of the whole Rams backfield. But what are your thoughts on, say, getting an A-chance like round 3, and then you get the handcuffs for the other running backs, like your Braelon Allen, etc., the Rams rookie, etc. But what are your thoughts on getting the handcuffs for the other running backs and then having A-chan as your one?
You mean hero RB?
Yeah, but not cuffing your own backfield, but cuffing the other top 5 backfields in a best ball format.
Yeah, I don't hate that. First of all, we got to wait and see if HN falls to the 3rd round. I would say for now, until we see the ADPs move, I'd move them to the bottom of 2. I'm writing them into the 3rd round as we speak. Here's round 1, here's round 2, here's round 3, here's round 4. I will put HN in the bottom of 2 right now. Like the bookend pick should land you HN and potentially Kiron, maybe, if we wanted to talk like that. That might happen very, very soon. And honestly, if you have the number 1 overall pick, and let's say you draft, let's just say you go Lamb this year or you go Chase. I'm going to put Lamb in there for now because this is redraft thinking right here. You get Lamb, HN, and Kiron. That's insane. As for what you're saying, let's say we go Lamb or let's say we go Jamar Chase. I'll throw in some different options here just to appease everybody's value. So we go Chase, HN, and then right here, who do you want in round 3?
Josh Allen.
Who?
Josh Allen.
Okay, so Josh Allen. And then round 4?
T. Higgins.
What? Pick someone else. Denied. Vetoed.
George Pickens.
Too early.
Well, keep in mind, it's like 24 picks after.
Vetoed.
Because it's. Oh wait, it was a 101. Zay Flowers.
Vetoed. What are you doing, bro? Zay Flowers in round 4? Am I wrong here? Is anybody listening? Is anybody listening to this?
This is the book end of round 4.
I'm not taking Zay Flowers.
This is the book end of round 4, though.
I'm not taking Zay Flowers, bro. There, I like Zay Flowers a lot.
This is a 4.12 pick.
Tank Dell. Thank you, Ray G. We'll put Dell in. I don't know if he'll fall though.
Dell's not going at the end of round 4.
Well, it depends where you draft, but hold on. Let me put somebody in. I don't think
like an early 4th.
Yeah, I mean I've seen him fall though, but I don't think we have ADP, even old ADP up. Damn it. Adunze, no. How about Devontae
Pacheco.
Smith? How about Devontae Smith? No, you're trying to go hero RB here.
Devontae
You're
Smith
trying to go.
around-
Devontae Smith's in round
Smith's
4.
a late third.
He's going around 4 all the time.
Early.
I don't know what you're looking
Not
at, bro.
a
I don't know what
4-12.
I don't know what you're looking at, but I don't know if I'd look at it anymore. This is Zay Flowers. That sounds crazy.
I drafted 150 best
I don't care. You know, I kind of remember this is like deja vu of you saying this before. I've done this 100,000 times. I remember you doing that to me before, bro. You're off your rocker. You're off your rocker. These are not. I'm not using your ADP.
Devonta Smith's ADP was like.
I'm not using.
36,
Bro.
39.
You're drafting on some weird platform. Stop it. Stop it. No Zay Flowers in round 4.
Promo code Smitty.
Zay Flowers is ridiculous, bro. He's not in round 4. Stop it.
No, he's a round 5 pick, but you're drafting at the tail end of round
DK,
4.
thank you, DK,
You
Dave.
said
Dave.
1.1.
Look, hey,
Okay,
you
DK.
let me deal with this. You asked me the question. I'm not letting you handle the ADP anymore. You're botching the hell out of it. Okay, DK Metcalf, Josh Allen, Achane, Jamar Chase. Your question is if you go hero RB, essentially with Achane as your hero, or
And
some.
you cuff the other rookies.
I mean, I just take the best player available, but let's just say you got into a territory where you were getting Corum, you were getting those guys. I don't mind assembling those guys, but that shouldn't be a running back 2 bet, bro. You got to take a stab at, first of all, Kenneth Walker is going to be available for your second RB and a hero RB. Like, Kenneth Walker's falling like mad. Depends where you want to start drafting running back again. If you really don't want to draft running back until like near double-digit rounds or something crazy, let me bring these closer.
White. You got the
Yeah, like you're gonna draft Corum and backup running backs that aren't even attached to your RB over Zamir White. No, so you'll take Zamir White.
I'm talking about later.
I know later, but I'm just saying, like you're saying, draft those guys and assemble that team. You're only going to be able to consume so many RBs. The worst thing in the world, I think, is what you're suggesting, which is to grab everybody else's cuff but your own and hope that one of those mediocre, pedestrian rookie running backs gets into a starting job and keeps it the entire year. Give me Zamir White. You could probably draft. God, my ADP isn't updated isn't there because Underdog doesn't have drafts right now. Let me pull up my rankings from thefantasyfootballshow.com. I encourage all of you to get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com and get your rankings. I remember arguing with you last time, bro. I remember this now. I remember you were like, I've done 150. You said that same damn line. I've done 150 drafts. I know what I'm talking about on this ADP. Sebastian, you're off. You're rocker. Not with everything that you said with those players, but like Zay Flowers, there was a couple of them you listed off. It was madness. I would say, bro, Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson, depending on where they go, those are guys that start getting back into the running back game after you have just Achane and you've gone non-running back for a while. If you want to wait even further than that, Austin Eckler's practically free in some cases. Zamir White, I would take a shot on Tajay Spears. You could throw like a Blake Corum in there, a Tajay Spears. I would not consume all of the rookie running backs. This is not your dad's rookie running back class. You're just not going to see what you think you're going to see. To be honest with you, I think once you get past like the top 30, it gets really dicey, my guy. You know who I would take? Zach Moss. Zach Moss is going in the hundreds, man. 90 to 100. Zach Moss is going.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why.
So I think some people were worried about him facing competition and maybe he'll climb a little bit. But that would be the solution. Zach Moss, Zamir White, maybe a couple
Jason Brown
rookies.
was like right there too.
All right. All right. Hey, I appreciate you, Sebastian. I didn't mean to yell at you. All right. Hey,
I'll talk to you later, all right?
All right. You can mute if you want and stay on the phone if you got another question. Let me go over to Marsman Rock Out and then go over to Young. Marsman Rock Out. What's going on?
Yeah, are you avoiding the wide receiver room for Chicago?
Yeah, I am. I mean, how do we know who's
Pretty
going to
hard
be
to
the guy?
navigate.
I'm not drafting Swift. I'm not. The game log that I just pulled up. He was absolutely pathetic, and it's not really his fault. He's designed to be a dynamic, and maybe they'll try and throw to him and run him, and maybe they do it well, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like they broke him, bro. I feel like they gave him way too many carries, and he's going to come with some massive injury risk this year. The odds of DeAndre Swift staying healthy off of last year's workload is very low.
Yeah. Not very durable.
Yeah, I don't like that, bro.
Or like an outside slasher, like zone kind of running back.
Yeah. What else you got? Rock out. Rock out. He's in the building.
I forgot what you said yesterday. Where you got Harrison ranked?
Where do I got Harrison ranked? In redraft?
Around. Yeah.
I mean, damn, man. I would say, well, round 2, but I would say I would take him at 2.1. I'd take him at the bookend 12-13 turn if I had to. I'm not saying I will want to do that every time. I'm just saying if I need to, I'll do it, and I'll do it live. I have no problem with that at all. No problem with that at all. So, 4th rounders, just to throw them out, Dell is going in the smack middle of the 4th round on this draft. Let's see here. Hold on. I'm looking at some of the most recent drafts that I just did. And all of them are kind of all over the place, though. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let me look at the War Room draft because that was the most recent one. Most recent War Room draft. The one thing he said was Pickens. And T. Higgins and Pickens do fall in the 4th, but I veto T. Higgins because I don't want him in the 4th round, not because that was bad ADP data. DK is definitely there. Devontae Smith is at the tail end of the 4th round. DK and Devontae Smith are great 4th round receivers. Tank Dell was at the, or I'm sorry, not the tail end. He was at, Devontae Smith was at the beginning of the 4th round. He was at the beginning of the 4th round here. Tank Dell was at the beginning of the 4th round here. Cooper Kupp was in 4th round. The 4th round, that's good. London's in the 2nd, unfortunately. That's just madness, though. I'm not going near that. You know, the 4th round, if there's a dry area for wide receiver, like not dead zone, but like dry zone, the 4th round feels a little dry. Zay Flowers, middle of round 5 in this draft, by the way. This is the most recent War Room draft right before they closed. So Zay Flowers is not a 4th rounder. But T. Higgins and Pickens are. I don't want to spend that. I love Pickens. I do. I want him in the 5th round, but I don't know if I could take him in the 4th round. You know what? I don't know. Trey McBride in round 4 feels like almost a lock for me every single time. Kelsey, I'd take a gamble on Kelsey. Laporta in round 4 seems like a lock. Jalen Hurts in round 4. Cooper Kupp. I think I'm not going near a lot of wide receivers is what I'm really coming to a conclusion on here. It's not that Sebastian, like I said, was off on everything he said. He was off on a couple, but I think what I've learned from my conversation with Sebastian right now is I'm not loving the 4th round for wide receivers. DK if he falls, but he's gone in the 3rd before. I see him in the 3rd in this draft. I've seen him at 4.4 in another draft. He's back at 3.5 in another draft. So DK's all over the place. Rashee Rice is still in the 4th round. He got taken in the 4th round in this draft. What are people doing? Cooper Kupp, there's some concern there, but give me Cooper Kupp over. I'd take him over T. Higgins. I don't know about T. Higgins.
Running back round.
I just don't think I'd take a receiver. I think 9 times out of 10, I'm taking Hurts, McBride, Laporta,
quarterback.
ETN. ETN was a top 5 running back. Are we really not like? I get that he was. I think he's running back 3 or 4, wasn't he? I get we don't want to draft him there again.
He was top 5.
Yeah, he's definitely, depending on your scoring, he's definitely top 5. But, like, I get it. Like, am I going to draft him at what he finished last year? I'm not an idiot. Like, I definitely don't know that I trust that exact value repeating. But are we really, like, at what point do we say, okay, stop? He dropped to round 4. You know, ETN in round 4 is fantastic. Derrick Henry's lived in 3 and 4. He's bounced all around. Mahomes is in 5. I mean, give me Mahomes at the end of round 4, forcing it a little early than going, like, no offense, Sebastian, like Zay Flowers. I'm going Mahomes. Like, just give me Mahomes. I don't know. Anyway, to answer Sebastian's question, I'm not doing that. Let me get all the cuffs of my guys I don't have. I don't like that at all. Not when you're talking about a very poor, mediocre running back class. Rock out, hang tight, unless you got another one real quick. I still appreciate you, Sebastian.
Where you got DK?
DK?
Yeah.
I mean, I like him in the 4th. I shouldn't say rarely falls there. I see him here twice, and I see him in the 3rd, in 3 or 4 of them right here. So, I don't know. I guess I like him if I've gone running back, or, you know, let's say I went Josh Allen early or something. I don't know. Then maybe I wouldn't mind him. But I kind of prefer my DK to be at top around 4 if I'm going to invest. You know, like a Devontae Smith DK back-to-back at the end of 3 and, you know, turning into the 4 or something. Probably.
Gotcha.
Let me go over to Travis, Marsman Travis. Then I'm going to go over to Young, who's been waiting quite a while. Young, I'm sorry. Travis, go ahead.
Hey, sorry if you already said this. I missed a little at the beginning. With the Jets, did you give your opinion on why they took the second running back with Isaiah Davis, or what was his name? What do you think that's about?
Take who? The what? The Jets?
The second running back they took. Yeah, the Jets. Was it Isaiah Davis? Is that his name?
Yeah, I don't know what some of these teams did some weird things. Even the Cardinals took a tight end that I wasn't super fond of that pick because I think it was like the 3rd round, was it not?
Tight end.
It was like, you know, why do that? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that guy's a really good blocking tight end, but there was other tight ends that I thought, you know, were better. But I think his name was Isaiah Davis, the other running back that the Jets took.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not too worried about him.
It's just odd. I don't really get it. You know.
I mean, sometimes teams are like, we're going to cut 3 of these guys. Let's just take that guy. In case maybe Braelon Allen had some kind of like questionable something to it, and they're like, let's take 2, just see who we can keep. I don't know.
Yeah, when it first happened, I was like, I wasn't like 100% serious, but I was like, is there a chance, like, because they took him right in front of Dallas, and I was like, is there a chance Dallas is trying to trade for Braelon Allen? They're going to give up a bunch or something?
No.
But, like, it's just an odd thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't put much thought into it, though, because the Cardinals did the same thing in round 3 with the tight end. It didn't make sense. But some teams just do weird things. They like a guy that, you know, they have thoughts of converting him to, you know, maybe they like him as a potential guy for the new return rules or something. Sebastian just bailed. I hope Sebastian didn't leave because I was roasting his ADP. He brings in some other ADP data sometimes, and then he like I remember him and I butted heads on his data before. Like I didn't even remember that. And then with the moment he said I've done 150, it triggered a deja vu of the last time him and I were arguing about something, and I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? So Sebastian, I love you, pal. Don't get mad. I hope you're okay. Also, I want to say that the Dallas Cowboys just not taking a rookie running back, not even signing Frank Gore after the draft was over, or figuring out a way to consume like one of the last running backs, to not even consider how far some of these running backs fell and just continue to punt it. I don't get anybody that thinks Dowdle is the man. I doubt he does anything. I don't understand it at all. Am I missing something? Does anybody really like Dowdle? Does anybody really think he's got like potential to surprise the hell out of me because it doesn't even cross my mind. Am I overlooking this kid?
No, not really.
I don't think so.
What did Dowdle?
I don't see it.
I don't even know what. Like, let me pull up his stats because Dowdle didn't even. I mean, I get he didn't play the whole year as a starter. He had 361 yards and 2 touchdowns. How would anybody even know anything about him at this point? He had 144 yards receiving, and he did have 2 touchdowns. He did have 2 touchdowns receiving last year and 2 running, so he had 4 touchdowns. But he had a 361 rushing yard total, 4.1 a carry. There's nothing here. There's nothing anybody could possibly see out of this kid. And he didn't have one 100-yard game. In fact, he only had 1 game above 46 yards rushing. 1 game above 46 yards rushing. He had 1 game above 25 yards receiving. There's nothing here. This is a nothing burger. Do I have the right stats?
Yeah.
Am I looking at 2023? What am I looking at here? This is not... In the playoffs, he had 11 yards rushing and 2 receptions for 14 yards, no touchdowns. That was against Green Bay. He absolutely was putrid there. And I'm not saying he got a full opportunity, but they were using him. You know, they were trying to get him the ball. And so let me put Dowdle's stats on screen. This is his regular season stats. Don't worry, I'm cropping out his playoff stats. You don't need them. There's nothing there. They lost. They're embarrassing loss. He did nothing. Here is Rico Dowdle's game log from last year. 46 yards in week 1. 54 receiving yards. That was his best game, really. was week 1. And then he had 4 yards, 46. There's nothing here. There's nothing special. You look at his string of games from week 2 down. 2 yards a carry, 1.3 yards a carry, 3.8 yards a carry, 3.0 yards per carry, 3.7 yards per carry, 2.9, 6.6, 4.0, 3.6, 4. There's nothing here. Rico Dowdle, I didn't think I missed anything, but I wanted to make sure I didn't forget. I didn't hit my head, have one too many crumble cookies, go into some sort of sugar coma, and bump my head and forget that he had 900 yards rushing on 6 games or something. He didn't. I just want to make sure. Yards per carry are good. No, they're not, Oscar. They're not. It's 4.1. That's not good, Oscar. That's not. It could be worse. Sure. Could be Rashad White's. Rashad White's was under 4 yards per carry. It could be worse, but 4.1 is not good yards per carry, Oscar. I'm sorry to inform you. I appreciate you, though. I'm trying to be more appreciative. Sebastian called back. Sebastian, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
I'm turning into my grandpa. I need to be more appreciative of everybody, even when I'm yelling at you. Let me go over to Young. Young's been waiting a hell of a long time. Young.
Chatter.
You're live, Young.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother?
What's up? You wanted to talk about Grendo, I think, right?
Hey, how'd you know?
I remember seeing a question, and I assumed it was you.
I want to talk about that, and also, man, I don't know if you remember, but it was probably a week or 2 ago, and I was like, "Hey, Smitty, what's up with this Ricky Pearsall guy?"
Yes, sir.
I hear you've been talking about him lately, and then you brought him my attention, and then I'm watching the first round, and all of a sudden the Niners pick him with the first pick.
You said Smitty has the script. The script strikes again, bro. You know? Oh, whoops. Where's my
and I'm
script
telling all my buddies, I'm like, hey, I'm kind of, this Ricky Pearsall guy's kind of growing on me, and then boom.
They're probably this guy's got the script. Where's my script?
Yeah.
The script strikes again.
Yeah, I like it. Maybe it's
all right, hey, let me
a bit of a reach.
Let me kill 2 birds with 1 stone on the Ricky Pearsall and the Grendo. These are both very, very big sleepers.
Okay.
All right.
You're already cutting me short after waiting 30 minutes? Gotcha.
No, but let me give you my answer, and then you can rebuttal, and hopefully I can solve part of your, because I can know where you're going with it. But let me answer this, and then that way you can come at me with the final thought or question. I like Guerrero.
Hey, don't phase me out because I'm a Niner fan.
I'm not young.
I'm a big Smitty fan.
You know I'm not. Guerrero and Parasol are both big sleepers of mine. I like them both a lot. We've talked about them a lot on the show. Guerendo's kind of that guy that needed to get into the right spot. He had a great combine, absolutely phenomenal combine. A big sleeper on a lot of people's boards. But he needed to go somewhere like Houston, where there was an aging running back like Mixon in front of him. Washington looks crowded, right? But that's going to scatter like cockroaches in a little bit. And you're going to have Eckler out of there. Brian Robinson's nothing special long term. And so that would have been a good place to plant him. You needed to plant him similar to Kiron getting planted in LAR. So the Niners, you could say McCaffrey leaving, there's an opportunity. So let me give you like hope that if he can put a foothold in and McCaffrey's getting older, he could potentially find his way into that role, and maybe he surprises the hell out of everybody. And there's a shot. He's a very talented kid. My fear is that Shanahan doesn't use rookies, and this goes for Parasol and for Guerendo. He doesn't use rookies as much as you would think, or they get doghoused really quickly. And the fact that Parasol, they mentioned they drafted him partly for the new special teams rules and returns, you might not see him on the field as much as you'd think. You'd need an injury or something like that to probably get a lot of them on the field. Because you think Jennings is coming off? Like, probably not, right? Jennings earned kind of what he's been doing. So, and I think Mitchell and Mason, it's going to be hard to unseat those guys for a while. So my fear for you is that, like Danny Gray, remember that guy? I love Danny Gray. Where's he at?
Yeah.
And we can't blame it on Danny.
Or something?
We don't know where he is. I wanted him on the Cardinals so bad. Wasn't he a second round pick? Didn't you take him in the second round?
No, not second
Third?
round. He was later on.
He was
third.
He had to have been third then.
At least third.
I wanted the Cardinals to take him. I love Danny Gray, and Shanahan just completely buried him. So I'm a little worried about at least one of these guys getting, put under the ground and never seen again. So go ahead and answer. I like them both, though. I just don't know that this is the coach that'll use them right away. And then you worry about, do they develop? Like Danny Gray. Didn't use him after 1 year. Ronnie Brown. Where's Ronnie Brown been? Ronnie Brown's so good, bro. Where's Ronnie Brown? Like
Ronnie Brown. Yeah,
I love Ronnie Brown.
He's good, too. No, I mean, I think that's I agree. With the Ricky Pearsall, I think, well, with the Guerendo, is that how you say his name?
Yeah. I believe so.
You're always talking about a McCaffrey, that the end of McCaffrey is closer than we think. So I'm just saying, like, just to, even if you have McCaffrey or, maybe you don't, just cuff in Guerendo, just see what happens. Who like Guerendo's the cuff, right? Or
not now. No, not yet. Not yet. No, not even close yet. I mean, there's no way Guerendo has been. He was so late, bro. He's a late draft capital guy, and as I said earlier, like a third rounder is okay, but Guerendo he's not even the number 5 running back right now. Like Shanahan took him, and then now he's got to find his role. But Mason and Mitchell are both still under contract, no?
Yeah, I mean,
there's no way he leapfrogs those guys without any production, no playing, no, doesn't even know the offense,
I'm just saying, like, let's say he just lights it up in preseason, and it's like, whoa, like, who is this kid? Type of thing, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, let's approach that when we get there, but you certainly can't have an expectation that that he's the cuff yet, because Mitchell and Mason are 100%.
Not yet.
Yeah. Keep an eye on him.
Not yet. I'm just asking you, like, is this somebody that could possibly emerge? Like.
Yeah.
throughout.
Yeah, I just don't.
Year or
I'm
something like that.
fearful Shanahan is not the right guy to allow it to happen. Which is, not that you could say, well, how did Kittle rise up? How did Brock Purdy rise up? And injury is definitely one way. But the problem with Ricky and Garendo is they're both at the very back end of a very deep position. The Niners are very deep at wide receiver, very deep at running back. So it's not like in Kittle's case where he's like sitting there at the top of it. Or Purdy's case, injury happened and he was sitting there at the top of it. He got shoved out there. Would Purdy have ever been given a shot if he wasn't? So injury's kind of your way in. And the good news is, this isn't good news, but McCaffrey and Mitchell and Mason all getting hurt are not that unlikely in that Niner offense. So you have hope, but you don't want it because you want McCaffrey to stay healthy. But you have hope.
No, I don't. Yeah,
and Parasol,
just like a sneaky little ad.
Yeah, look, as a Niner fan, you should be very excited that you drafted two of my sleepers. Let's hope that if they ever get a shot to play, that they get a fair shot to play. Right now, Ronnie Brown and Danny Gray don't look like they're getting a fair shot, and that pisses me off because they're both really good. No offense to Jennings. I know everyone's you Niner fans love Jennings. I don't know why. I understand he makes a big catch here and there, but when he makes a big catch here and there, you guys act like he's been doing it all year long. You're like, he's such a dog. Oh my God. Like, it's like, bro caught what? How many TDs did he get last year? One touchdown during the regular season. And he's a dog whenever he catches.
Not really, he's not a touchdown guy though. He's just like a clutch third down.
He had 6 or 7 2 years ago. He had 6 or 7 2 years ago, and Raj and I bet a hat or a jersey. I think it was a jersey that he would not score 6 touchdowns, and he scored 1 that previous year, and then he scored again, I think 1. But yeah, whenever he catches a touchdown or a big catch, like one catch, it's like he's got like 20 yards on the game. He'll catch one 17-yard pass on third down. And it's like, he's a dog. Everyone's like, he's a dog, holding everybody back. My boy Raj and C.
Whenever he does get the ball, though, you can't deny that he does fight for those extra yards.
But I will say, but my whole point is that Shanahan and your entire fan base, you guys love Jennings so much. How the hell is Ronnie Brown going to even get on the field? Ronnie Brown. I keep saying Ronnie Brown. Ronnie Bell. I'm sorry, Ronnie Bell. Why do I keep saying Ronnie Brown? Because of the running back.
Ronnie.
Keep saying Ronnie Brown. I actually had Ronnie Brown. I loved Ronnie Brown from the Miami Dolphins. Ronnie Brown actually.
I did too.
He actually came on the show. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. I had Ronnie Brown on. I like Ronnie Brown. He was good.
But
Ronnie Bell.
Smitty, man. Hey, enough about my Niners because you talk about them enough. How about your Cardinals, bro?
Did they do something good in the draft?
I think they won the draft.
You think so?
I mean,
I do. How do you think we're looking right now? How do you think my boys? How do you think they're faring? I mean, look at this quad.
How many wins do you think the Cardinals? I want your prediction though. How many wins do you think the Cardinals get this year?
Bro, the fact that this Cardinal staff and God, as much as I give Monty Ossenfort shit going into the draft because, I kind of was torn on him. I was like, I like him, I love him, he's aggressive, but man, he's shopping this number 1 around like it's gonna get traded. I was so pissed. Man, I mean, they improved their defense. One could say that the defensive drafting was almost as on point as the offensive draft. So, like, the fact that we've replaced our corners, I mean, who knows if all of them work out, but we got enough options that I have a feeling the Cardinals will win 10 games this year. 9 to 10 games this year. I'm going to try and be objective and say, is there a shot they win the division and, flip things around and injuries strike, other teams in the division like the Niners and the Rams? Like, sure, injuries could definitely, present an opportunity for the Cardinals to win the division and be shockingly better than people expect. I think give us 1 year, but in 1 calendar year, the Cardinals are absolutely, you're going to have to rip the division win from their kung fu grip. That's how good this team's going to be. And you know, a Niner fan will laugh at that because they only see, you know, certain shade of red. But I mean, you can't deny that this offense looks amazing, and you also can no longer deny that the defense might be on track. Because that's the first thing an anti-Cardinal person's going to say is, well, your defense sucks. Like you could go to the biggest Niner fan and go, the Cardinals got Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey Benson, but your defense still sucks. You hear that? Oh, the Cardinals are going to be bad. Like, you can't laugh at the Cardinals anymore. The Cardinals have some of the most talent in the National Football League. 347 caller. Who is this and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is John from Staten Island.
Okay, John from Staten Island. Hang tight real quick, my guy. I'm gonna come to you in a second, okay, John?
All right, no problem. Thank you.
All right, and then Denny's calling in. Denny's gonna certainly want to get in on this. Denny, I need you to wait your turn, Denny. I'm gonna add you to this phone call. I need you to mute, or I have to hit the button. So please wait in the line of command, the chain of command, okay, Denny?
Chain of command. I was in the Marine mute.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you, Denny. Well, I'll see how long this lasts. Who was I talking to? Young?
Me, Young. John.
Yep.
Oh, not yet, John. You're in line. Young. Okay. So Young.
Yeah,
I answered your call, John, just to get you on the queue. But Young. Cardinals are going to go to the moon, bro. Cardinals are going to the moon. I don't know. I don't know if they can win the division this year. I would not put it past them. I'm telling you that right now. I do believe some injuries would need to occur for the Niners, for the Cardinals to leapfrog this year. But one calendar year from today, the window will have closed a lot more. You guys will be aging out. Debo or Ayuk won't be on the team. Christian McCaffrey won't be the same player. Brock Purdy's getting either paid to reset the market and getting overpaid, no offense, or he didn't play as well and he's not getting overpaid to reset the market. Kittle is going to be teeter-tottering on how many more years can he even play, if he can play at the same level anymore at all, because he's so aggressive with his body. He reminds me of Gronk in that. You're going to have a completely different looking team one calendar year from today. You have a window to win this year. You're still a top 4 team in the National Football League. Understand this is not a hater, or I wouldn't be telling you you're one of 4 teams in the National Football League that are expected to win the Super Bowl this year. Like, that's how good your team is. Your coach is, unfortunately, doesn't know what he's doing. On the field he does, his scheme he does, play calling he does until you get in the playoffs, and then he starts falling apart again. Your coach doesn't know how to manage the offseason. He doesn't. He gets an F- from me, if not an incomplete, an I, for his complete mismanagement of the entire Ayuk situation. Same blueprint as Debo, same blueprint as Bosa, and actually you guys had a really, in my opinion, shitty draft. It came back around a little bit in the second part of it, but that whole taking Parasol, I think, was you guys freaking out about trying to get rid of Debo and Ayuk, and I think that Dijon announcement by Silver, your beat writer in San Francisco, announcing that Dijon was the pick, that probably was leaking out, because some of these things leaked out about, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes before the deal was the pick was actually announced. So there's people giving information and, leaking information. And Dijon was announced as the pick by the Niners. It was everywhere. And then all of a sudden it said, never mind, it's Ricky Parasol. Something changed up. And I think it's because they didn't know if they were going to pull this Debo move off. You took Parasol in a freak out moment. Should have taken McConkey at the next pick, who was still available to you guys. You should have taken Dijon, but you were afraid that if you didn't take him, you wouldn't be able to get this deal done or something. I don't know what happened.
Something weird did happen right there. And it also could just be Kyle he's always trying to find his new shiny toys, I think, too. It could be some of that too, So, and then he doesn't know how to keep them all.
But you know what?
Or
you basically somebody took a wrench to the team and just started smacking it like you take a wrench to a nice piece of machinery, and hitting the wrench against the machine didn't do anything. Like, your team is still fantastic, bro. Like, so Kyle couldn't even break it if he tried.
Absolutely.
It's got like a metal cage around the team, but at the end of the day, he didn't help it. But the one thing that could hurt, though, I guess I should take that back a little bit, because if Ayuk continues to hold out, then there's a breach in that cage, and Shanahan is hitting it with the wrench. Because Ayuk will be fine if he reports now. Like, as soon as he's as soon as it's time to report and he's ready, he signs his contract. There's no delays in June. But if you delay all of June and part of July or whatever the hell even if it's a month of delay, you're now on the Deebo Samuel track, which leads to a bad season, regardless of who he works out with. Doesn't matter if he has a chain around his neck and he runs 8 miles a day. It doesn't matter.
Yo, so you're saying, though, Cardinals 10 wins at least this year.
9 to
this
10
season, Cardinals at least 10 wins.
9 to 10 wins this year with a caveat that I'm not shocked at all for way better right away. Because I just don't know how the defense is. Like, we're replacing the entire defense essentially in this draft, and I don't know if they're all going to work out. If even half of them work out, good Lord, this team could be way better than 9 wins. Way better. It just really depends on how the defense comes together. But Gannon should be able to kind of bring that, that I think mentality and spin to it, that like this defense should turn around. I'm pretty excited about it. Not to mention, what's the best thing for a defense? A good offense. What's the best thing for a good offense? A good defense. Like that goes back and forth. They help each other, and I think having good field position, all that stuff's going to be amazing. All right, hey, Young, hang tight. I'm going to circle around. I got a lot of other people on the line. I appreciate you waiting and all that.
All right, thanks, brother.
Yeah, Let me go to John. John, I'm sorry, John, you were kind of at it late. Let me go to a couple of these other people real quick. TJ was waiting a while. TJ, then DeBolt, then Denny, then John, then Denny, in order. TJ, you're live. As quick as you can.
Hey, Smitty, just want to say I love all the content you've been pumping out recently. It's really awesome.
Thanks, pal.
So I got a rookie draft tomorrow. I got pick 105 and pick 107. Do you think if you did like a quick top 7 rookie super flex?
105. Thank you, Terry Roberts, with the super chats. He says go to thefantasyfootballshow.com. That's my ranking site. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. Cards fire, draft Smitty, Kyler's ADP is rising. I think he means Kyler's. Kyler's ADP is rising. All right, super flex draft tomorrow, you said?
Yeah. I was just wondering if you could give a top 7.
Yeah, so this sucks for me because I guess tell me your quarterbacks. Because
I got Josh Allen, D-Watt, and then Geno.
Okay, so D. Watson, you don't necessarily. I mean, I'm not saying I love D. Watson, but you don't necessarily need a quarterback. I'm a very, very non-QB drafting super flex rookie drafter, bro. I don't let it influence me too much, and everybody else just will draft a position. What is my mantra? Draft a player, not a position. That's why I tend to do this. So MHJ, there's not a hesitation in my mind. Not like I don't even care. I almost don't even care if you don't have a quarterback. I'd almost say that's your own fault. Draft MHJ, live with it. Go watch him play. It'll be a fun year. I just can't draft a position. I just can't. I got to draft a player, and I would never be caught with my team like that with no quarterbacks. I'd at least have a Lamar at the very least, or a Joe Burrow. I would not have no. So you did good. You got Josh Allen, and you absolutely drafted amazingly. MHJ, and then I probably say, this is where you consider like a JD5 if, let's say, you were struggling at QB. Maybe the draft happened a long time ago and you were aging out at quarterback, and there's an thing I'd understand. At this point, bro, what are your running backs and receivers?
Yeah, so running backs, Gibbs, Pacheco, and then Pearson, Chuba. I didn't really
Gibbs, Pacheco. Okay, receivers? Gibbs, Pacheco, okay.
Cooper, Amari Cooper, Ridley, Deontay Johnson, Gabe Davis.
Okay, and tight end?
Cole Kmet, Cade Otton.
What pick are you?
105 and 107.
Tight end premium?
No, just super flex.
Okay, can you trade both of them to move up?
I could try, yeah. You can get like Marvin or something.
I mean, if I would trade both of them, 1.07 and 1.0. Let me ask Travis, would you trade 1.07, 1.05, and your future 2025 first rounder for MHJ? I would, but I'm crazy.
1.07, 1.05 in the future first.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do it.
I'd do it. I'm crazy though.
Why not?
I'd do it, but I'm insane.
Well, I mean, so just on paper, who is it going to be?
Yeah.
If it's a super flex, a quarterback. If not,
yeah. I mean, at
wide
best,
receiver.
like let's say JJM, and I mean, is there a shot you get a Dunze and JJM? I mean, maybe, but like a shot. Is there a shot at it? I don't know.
Maybe a Bowers. And then you don't know what pick you'll have next year.
I'm crazy though. I guess the only thing I would say is like if Neighbors or Adunze don't go, let's say it goes MHJ, and that would be you. Hopefully it'll be you. You know, we're trying to get you there. If it went QB, let's say even Neighbors, you just have to ask yourself, Adunze. I just if Dunze landed in Buffalo, it'd be different. I think the difference between Dunze now and MHJ is night and day. They're not the same anymore. This is why we said you had to wait to totally know where these values were gonna level out. If this was Neighbors, even though some might like a Dunze spot better than Neighbors, and I could get behind that, I guess. But keep in mind, DJ Moore is still there. I'm going to assume Neighbors is gone. I think you could land a Dunze, and at the end of the day, though, let's just walk this through. If this was a Dunze and Benson, and then a future first, that's too much to give up. If let's say. Let's say I'm just gonna walk them through these scenarios. Let's say Neighbors. This is why it's tough. If you could wait till you're on the clock to do it, maybe, and trade it. But the problem is that once the person has Harrison, they're probably far less likely to trade him because people are just weird about that. But let's say it went QB, Neighbors, Adunze, and I don't know if you know your league well enough to know if that would happen or if it would be heavy quarterback. If it went
it'd probably go a little heavier quarterback.
Okay.
Because I've heard May even in the top 4.
Yeah. Okay. So if you think that's the case, then I probably wouldn't. That's too much to give up. But if you think this could go QB, which would be the only QB I love is JD5. I don't love anybody else to any crazy degree given their landing spots for the now. I like May. I obviously like Penix Jr. Those are good spots, but you're not even in need of quarterback. So if it went QB, Neighbors, Adunze, then this is when I want to make this move. Because even if this was whoever this was, I'd rather have MHJ than this player, and the future first. But if Adunze, you think there's a strong likelihood that he could fall, this is Dunze, Benson in the future first probably outweighs MHJ maybe, but I don't know, man. I'm still trying to get MHJ. I would trade this pick in my future first. So 1.5 in future first for MHJ or 1.5 and 1.7 and your second rounder for MHJ. But leave out the 3 of them. I wouldn't do the 3 of them. Based on what you're telling me. Because if it's going to go heavy QB, then the receivers are going to fall. You don't need quarterbacks. I want a Dunze here or Neighbors, or I don't love this 5 pick at all.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was thinking too. Or one last question: Worthy or Brian Thomas too high for them?
I don't know, man. Worthy to me is I like him, but I don't understand how everybody's expecting him to do it right away, though.
Hype is high. Yeah.
I'd rather have Benson and man, I don't know. I'd rather have Benson and
I like Brian Thomas.
Yeah, I'd go Brian Thomas and Benson before I'd go.
Okay.
Yeah, but bro, MHJ is worth your future first and the 1.5 and a second, like whatever. Throw in seconds. I'd throw in 2 seconds. I don't care. MHJ 1.5 for 1.5 and the 1.7. MHJ for the 1.5 and the 2025 first rounder.
Okay.
I'd also strongly consider trading Deshaun Watson if you were to keep this 1.07 and you replace him with this quarterback here, which is risky, but you replace Deshaun Watson with this 1.7. You also have Geno in case you need to use him. But if you could get MHJ using the 1.5 Watson and some seconds, I'd consider that. Or Travis, would you do Watson, the 1.5? No, how about this? Watson, the 1.7 and 2025 first rounder. And you keep the 1.5. I'd do that. But I don't know if he would.
Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, he's his second
Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, it's his second quarterback.
It's a super flex.
Yeah.
No, I'd still do it.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah.
All right, hey, hang tight, TJ. I got to go over to John from New York and then over to Denny, I believe. John from New York, or DeBalt, and then Denny. John from New York and then DeBalt. John, what's up? Denny's doing good.
What's up, Smith? I just had a few questions. Me and my cousin
Denny.
were big Cowboys fans, and I just want a few questions answered. Like, just what do you think they're going to do in the offseason now that they didn't draft a running back? And
I don't know. I'm hoping you can tell me.
What do you think, like, the backfield looks like?
I'm hoping you can tell me. We don't know. Your backfield looks like a trash can. I have no idea what you guys are doing over there in Dallas, bro. I think Jerry is sleeping at the wheel. I think Jerry is going senile, bro.
Yeah, I know that's what I was. I was hoping we could have got Braelon Allen, and then when we couldn't get him, somebody else late, maybe Frank Gore Jr. But now we just signed with the Bills, so I was just wondering if you had any questions, like what do you think? If you had any like ideas of what the backfield's going to look like next year.
Yeah, I can tell you exactly what it's going to look like.
Do?
Rico Dowdle and probably Zeke Elliott, or Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn and I think you still have Malik Davis. That's your backfield. There's no one left.
You don't think?
There's no one left. What else?
You don't think we try and trade for anybody?
No, I mean, wouldn't you have just signed Barkley, Henry, or Josh Jacobs if that was the case? I know you want an answer that like makes you feel like you can sleep at night, but I'm telling you, bro, you're gonna have a lot of sleepless nights unless you're able to let it roll off and not bother you. Your entire Jerry Jones is I don't know what in the hell he's doing. You're not extending Dak, which enables you or disables you from extending Lamb. You need to extend Dak so that you can get Lamb signed, because you don't have the money for it unless you move that Dak money around. And then in signing Dak to an extension saves you money this year. And you're not extending McCarthy because you don't trust him or Dak, and you're sending a horrible message to say, imagine if your boss came up to you, bro. Okay, what line of work do you work in? You don't have to tell me where you work, but what line of work do you work in?
I root for my father.
Okay, so imagine if your dad came up to you, or it'd be even better if he wasn't your dad, but your boss came up to you. You work for a roofing company. He's not your dad. He walks up to you and he goes, "Hey, I got a job this week. Okay, it starts. I didn't like how you handled the last job. I just want you to know that I don't know if you're going to be working the next job. Okay, but I want you to go out there and do good on this job. Okay, so we'll see you later." And he walked away. Like, how are you feeling? The pressure's on you.
Horrible.
There's no trust in you. He clearly doesn't believe in you. Let's say you even approached him the next day and you said, "Hey, I want some assurance, man. I'm telling you, my heart's in this. I'm going to work for you. It's going to be amazing. Can you guarantee me more work after this month or after this job?" And he says to you, No, I don't. I'm not. We'll talk about it when we get there. You would have zero faith that they believe in you, bro. You'd be so in your own head. Jerry's doing this with both McCarthy, your head coach, and Dak Prescott, your quarterback. And what he's telling you is he doesn't have faith in you. And that the crazier part, bro, is that you have Dak has a no franchise tag, meaning that he's playing on his final year. And if he balls out, you have no control to keep him. No control.
Yeah.
You know, and imagine if you crushed this roofing job, bro, and somebody came to you after and said, bro, I'll hire you full-time over here, pay you more than he's paying you, and I'm not going to give you that runaround. You'll know what you got with us. I'll give you a 5-year deal, 6-year deal right now. You'll never have to be questioned again. You'd say, see you later, even if it was your dad. See you later. This guy wants me over here. Dak is not coming back to Dallas, even if he blows it up in a good way. And if he does bad, he's gone. So I'm so petrified for CeeDee Lamb dynasty value, my guy. I just don't know what's in store for him. My only hope for you is that Jerry's so far off his rocker, everything he's saying today, he won't say tomorrow. And we've kind of gotten a taste of this because he did a press conference. And one moment he says, I'm not, worried about this year. We're focused, or I'm not worried about next year. I'm worried about this year. We're all in this year. I'm not worried about contract extensions, and we're not going there. We're focused on this year. We heard word that they weren't extending Dak. They weren't extending anybody. They weren't giving Parsons an extension. And then Jerry just did a press conference where he said, do you think that, who in the world would think I'm not working on this day and night? It's like, what the hell's this guy talking about? One moment he's saying no, the next moment he's... So my only hope for you, bro, is that you do sign Dak to a big extension, and we're all shocked. We're all kind of not shocked, right? Because I'm telling you it could happen, because Jerry's off his rocker. And then you give Lamb his extension, and then we're very secure up. But I don't know. The problem is, I think your whole fan base... Are you questioning Dak as a fan base in general?
What do you mean by that?
Like if they extended Dak, are you happy? Is the fan base in general happy?
No, me personally, no. Like, I kind of lost faith in Dak over the last couple of years. Like, I don't want to go into a full rebuild, but I feel like maybe we see what we have in Lance, and then if he doesn't work out, we have the money to maybe, or if he doesn't work out and he plays horrible, we have a high draft pick and maybe get a great quarterback, or if he does play great and he's a top 10 quarterback, top 5 quarterback, we have the money to sign him back now, and we got our quarterback of the future. Like,
no, you don't, though.
You have no guarantee.
But you have no guarantee. If you don't extend him now, my guy, you have zero control over him staying. Yeah. You can't franchise tag him. He's on his last deal.
No, go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just saying, so if you don't extend him now, he balls out, what incentive does he have to come back to you? Because he's won there and he feels good with CeeDee Lamb, maybe, but Kirk Cousins got pushed aside and got made to feel like he was, second choice all the time, and he ended up leaving. So all I'm saying is I highly doubt Dak wants to be made to feel this way, and then all of a sudden Jerry's going to crawl back and say, hey, you're our guy, man. Let me give you your extension. He's going to go, you know what Dak's going to say? Hold that thought. I'm going to go test free agency, because what person wouldn't go test free agency after they just had a smash year and are not under contract and were doubted by their team? Nobody. Dak's gonna go test free agency.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm and also let me ask you an honest question, okay? Because Dak balled out last year. Dak was what, QB3, QB4 in fantasy. Lamb's never been better. Why do you doubt him? Because you lose in the playoffs? You can be honest with me. Because he balled out. He was absolutely phenomenal.
100%. Yeah.
Okay,
I blame the defense too. But I just feel like when it comes to the big moments, he just doesn't shine like I hope he would.
But is that any different than what Josh Allen's been doing, what Lamar's been doing? You know what I mean? Like, why are we not replacing Lamar? From a Ravens fan base perspective, why are we not calling for Josh Allen to be rotated out? Like Dak played his, and I'm not saying Dak is those guys. Like understand, Dak is not even in my top 5 quarterbacks. So I'm not trying to make that argument. I'm merely from a Cowboys perspective. Like, what are you expecting to get? Because Dak is playing like a top 5 fantasy QB, at least top 6 to 7 fantasy QB. Your offense is always in the top 5 in production. And when you get to the playoffs, is it really a problem of Josh Allen losing and Lamar losing? Or is it really a problem that you're going in with a one-dimensional offense, asking a quarterback to put it on his shoulders for consecutive wins in a row, and at some point that player is not going to be able to do it? Case in point, Josh Allen, trying to put the entire team on his back without a running game, is not able to continue to go each round, and he eventually falters. It falls on his face because he can't handle a defense focusing on just shutting him down. Lamar Jackson, having an absolute MVP season, could not put the entire team on his back. He eventually fell victim to not being able to just get it done. What do the Ravens do? They bring in Derrick Henry. Now it's not all on Lamar. Now the team can together try and win these consecutive tough games against the best teams in football when it counts most. What did the Philadelphia Eagles do after they falter? Because they aren't balanced and they weren't even jiving well, they go get Saquon Barkley. What should the Dallas Cowboys have done? Went and got a running back, so it's not all on Dak Prescott. This is not a Dak Prescott problem. I am not a Dak Prescott supporter, but I can 100% guarantee you, you're not replacing Dak Prescott. He is as good as you can find in the open market. There's no rookie that's going to play better than him. There's no tradable player that you could acquire. Dak Prescott is the best thing you will ever find in the next 10 years. You need to build around him, and Jerry just sharded all over himself by not bringing in the running back, which would have done that. That's my take. Dak has absolutely been phenomenal.
Right. No, well, that's honestly, like, kind of, like, I'm not even going to be honest with you. You kind of, like, changed my mind on Prescott a little bit, like, right this second. Like, I'm not even kidding around. I was
you want to buy a car?
Extremely upset.
Should I go try and sell cars for a day in YouTube Live it, see if we could get one sold? This vehicle can go 100 miles more than this vehicle over here. You think you're getting a better vehicle. You're not getting a better vehicle. This is the best vehicle on the lot.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a car sales. I'm not even. This is the reason I'm laughing about that car sales is I don't even love Dak Prescott, and I just sold him to you. Sold.
No, yeah, no, I know you really. Well, that's why I called up there, because honestly, out of anybody I possibly have watched on YouTube, you're probably the best guy when it comes to takes and stuff like that, and you're non-biased with things and stuff like that, and this is the exact reason I called. I wanted to get a couple answers on what we were doing, and I kind of did in a way. You know, how it's all not Dak's fault and stuff like that, and I will kind of shit in the bed, and it's really nothing, you know.
How are you going to beat the Niners right now? Niners will fall apart in a year or two, but how are you going to beat the Niners right now? Probably the top 4 team in the National Football League. How are you going to beat the Eagles right now? A top 3 or 4 team in the National Football League. How are you going to beat the Lions? Like there's so many teams that you take away Dak, you're taking away parts of CeeDee Lamb. If you take away Dak, you are not getting the same CeeDee Lamb. I'd be willing to bet almost any amount of money with someone that if Dak Prescott moved on, let's say right now, and you put Lance in there, you draft a rookie, whatever, CeeDee Lamb's production 100% will not be as good. And Dak gets the absolute most out of him. And so if you take away Lamb's production, you're not getting as much production from Dak Prescott. What in the hell happens? How do you beat these teams? You know, you actually have one of them, you had and still kind of have one of the most intriguing defenses in the National Football League too. I'm actually really shocked whenever I hear, and it's mostly fandom hate from different fan bases, but when I hear people act like the Cowboys defense is not really good. You guys are absolutely scary. You just give up big plays, and you're not like a total like lockdown yardage and lockdown touchdown defense. You're a opportunistic playmaking defense. But I'm always shocked when you guys take a lot of heat. You have a good defense. You just need to, button it up a little bit. But I mean, there's a lot to like here, and Dak Prescott is the best thing you will ever find, most likely in the unless you were to maybe go that Fields route, like why would the Cowboys not get Fields for a 4th rounder, and just sit him behind Dak, and then extend Dak, and then do kind of what the Falcons are doing, but so much cheaper. In a way, right? Because Fields is like free as a 4th round value, not a 9 overall. Yeah. But you're signing your Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott. They're both getting huge deals, and instead of spending a 9, and I'm not saying Penix was a mistake, but instead of spending the 9 overall, you're spending a 4th rounder on Fields, and you've safeguarded this. Maybe you're making a mistake move when you sleep like a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I could fix the Cowboys tonight. I would have gotten Fields. I'd call the Steelers right now and say, and I'd try and lowball them. I'd say, what did you get for Fields? Was it a 7th rounder? No, bro, it was a 6 conditional to. Oh, okay. What if I gave you a 5? I'll give all the way up to a 2. Oh, you won't do a 5? Yeah. What about a 4? What? You know how excited the Steelers would be that they turned a 6 rounder into a 2? They probably would fold at some point and give you Fields. I'd fix the Cowboys tonight. I extend Dak Prescott, which frees up money to get CeeDee Lamb signed. I worry about Parsons next year. If I could afford it, I would. And I trade for Fields, and I go balls out into the season, and I've got every amount of risk and concern covered. That's what I would have done. It just pisses me off that people don't even give Fields the time of day. You got quarterbacks in here that are starting like I liked O'Connell at one point, admittedly, but I didn't know what he was going to be. I just kind of liked the prospect of him. You got O'Connell and Minshew. You got Geno and Howell, and Fields is just sitting there. Nobody wanted Fields. Yeah, no. You're telling me as the Raiders shouldn't have gone Fields and then maybe tried to draft Penix Jr. and do similar to the Falcons type of thing, but at a much cheaper scale. Like, you didn't think maybe it was safe to do what the Steelers did. They got Russell Wilson in case they didn't get anything else. Then they also got Fields, and they didn't care. They're like, we got both, but we didn't crumble and say, oh, we already got Wilson, so now we won't go for the guy we really did want, Fields. They preemptively got Wilson, and then he's getting paid $1 million. They're paying him $1 million, $1.2 million to play for Pittsburgh. It's nothing, bro. It's nothing. They weren't committing to anything. No. And then now they got Fields. No. They're both on 1-year deals. They get to decide whatever the hell they want to do, and I believe they can franchise tag, either one of them. Mm-hmm. All right, bro. I'm sorry about your squad there, but. Who am I talking to right now? It was John, right? John from New York?
John from New York.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboy fan in New York. All right, man. Hey, John, appreciate you. Calling anytime. I got you on the phone line. You're quick to get in now, okay?
All right, no problem. Thank you, man. Nice talking to you.
Yeah. DeBalt and then Denny.
What's up, Smitty?
What's up, bro?
Smitty, what's up?
What's up, DeBalt?
What's up, Denny?
Denny, you want to say something? Denny,
you were on that kid. I don't even know. The kid doesn't even remember what he wanted in the beginning.
John, I wasn't hard. I wasn't hard on John. I was hard on the Dallas Cowboys, and John flipped over to the Team Dak by the end of it. So it wasn't like I was hard on him. I feel like I was hard on Dallas for sure.
On that kid, man. I know you like Dak. You don't like Dak? Oh, little CeeDee Lamb. Oh, man, you getting it in. But that was crazy. The way you talked to that kid, man. You put the kid I don't even think he likes football anymore. That was ridiculous. Can you give a kid a break? Come on, Smitty, I love you.
What was that? Was that bad, guys? Did I didn't attack him.
You were a little optimistic.
I thought that was awful.
Wait, hold on, Denny. Hold on, Denny. What did you say to Bolt?
You're
Kid
a bit
was just trying to
optimistic.
Denny,
You're
hold
more
Denny,
optimistic than I am,
hold
I'll
on.
tell you
I
that.
can't hear DeBolt. Hold on, DeBolt. What'd you say?
You're pretty optimistic on that. You're way more optimistic than I am about the Cowboys. But
I wasn't optimistic on the Cowboys. What do you mean?
well, on Dak, I mean, Dak's he's a good fantasy quarterback, but I think the caller was asking more of on the actual football.
I wasn't talking fantasy.
IRL standpoint.
I wasn't talking fantasy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Smitty put him in the.
No,
Smitty put that poor
I mean,
kid
DeBolt.
Great man.
I mean, DeBolt, like, and I'm not mad that you think differently. Like, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm mad at Jerry Jones, but like, what would you replace him with? Like, if you had to right now, and there's no Fields anymore available, there's no, like, you're gonna replace Dak, who played in fantasy isn't a concern, but the production tells you something. Like, he's playing at the level of a top 5 quarterback all year long. And they get in the playoffs and they lose, and everybody just points the finger at Dak. And I just think it's unfair to point the finger at Dak when you don't point the finger at Josh Allen or Lamar, because we all accept them. It's not all their fault. It's the team. It's the coaching. They don't give him a running back. Now Lamar gets a running back. Watch him go. Hurts doesn't get it, take it the distance either, right? Is it his fault? No, they get Barkley. Now he's going to get a shot to do it. It will be ironic if the two teams that solved those problems, the Ravens, face off against the Eagles, and we see that championship game, because those teams did what they needed to do and should have done with their QB and supporting them. But like, I'm asking an honest question. What would you try? How would you try and solve the Dak Prescott situation if you're not going to go get him RBs and surround him?
I agree with you on all that. You're definitely right. What did I say before? Jerry Jones. I don't trust the direction. I don't trust the organization. They kept Mike McCarthy, which is dumb. And Jerry Jones proved what I knew 4 or 5 months ago. He's not going to do anything. He's going to sit on his hands like he always does. But the thing is when you're the quarterback for the Cowboys, you don't have the same slack as you do as Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. You're the quarterback for the Cowboys. It's a whole different monster.
Well,
but I agree with you. Who else is there? I mean, really, you're right.
I think before you go that route, you got to at least give him a stud running back. You got to at least, do what you can to fix some of these problems, and then look at Dak. But to go away from Dak,
I agree.
Create a bigger hole in the boat, and then finally solve the running back position, let's say next year, and you don't have Dak. And now you're going to blame everything else because you're going to be like, okay, we got the running back, but we got rid of Dak. You're getting rid of the wrong variables. You're getting rid at the wrong time.
Yep.
Yeah, Denny, what's up?
All right. Can Dak zip it to CD Lamb?
Well, that's the problem, Denny. We got to keep it going.
What do you mean? I hate the running back situation a lot, but Dak can zip it to CD Lamb.
That's right.
Like that. I like the I like the O line.
That's on Kiron Corn.
CD. Oh my God, he's the best.
Hassan, I have a.
Williams, like the best wide receiver I've seen in a minute.
That's why Denny. That's why we want Dak. That's why I want Dak to stay, partly. Because if you take Dak away from this team and he's on his final contract and Jerry won't extend him, essentially saying he's gone, unless he plays his way back into Jerry's heart and wants to stay because he'll have no obligation and you can't franchise tag him. So Dak is as good as gone next year, whether he balls out or he doesn't ball out. Dak is no longer a Cowboy after this year, most likely, unless he balls out and somehow just wants to be with Lamb. Let's just say they went to a Super Bowl and lost. I don't think they can possibly win a Super Bowl without running backs and all that. Hold on, Denny. So what I'm saying is, even if he balls out, there's no way that he's going to want to go back to a situation, in my opinion, without at least testing the market, which he has every right to do because he cannot be franchise tagged. And real quickly, Hassan, I did a whole entire video dedicated to this exact question. It's on my YouTube. And I also talked about it at the beginning of the show for like 35 minutes. So I'm not trying to like pawn off this super chat question to a different part of the video. But in a nutshell, I'm scared zero. I'm scared zero. Blake Corum is not stealing the job from Kiron. Kyron's value lowers. That's fantastic news. And just draft him as, lower now. Make sure you cuff him. It's a great cuff. But zero concern, Hassan. Appreciate you. And this other super chat, real quickly, Handed asked me, 1 QB, 0.5 dynasty, Brooks or Benson. Give me Benson, bro. Benson's a top 10 to 12 running back as soon as he starts starting games, which may or may not be midseason. I don't know. It could be earlier. It could be later. I like Brooks. Brooks is coming off an ACL tear, but Benson's got the much better offense. But I like both of them, but give me Benson all day long. Thank you for the super chat. Denny, go ahead and rebuttal, and then I'm going to wrap it up here.
All right, I'll wrap it up. But, man, you got mad at that kid, man. I love that kid. No, I'm just kidding. JK, LOL, Smitty.
All right, Denny. Any final thoughts, bro?
All I care about is the past, right? So,
you did good.
Talk about, just for a second. I would have took Drake, mate, too. Yeah, Drake. Yeah, big boy, yeah? About 6'4".
Hey, Denny, I got news that the Scott Fishbowl. Remember when I went to Vegas, Circus Sports, and I live streamed the draft, and we met for the first time? Did you know that we're running that back? We're running that back. I think. Are you gonna?
I'll be there.
You gonna be there?
Sweetie, I'll be there.
Anybody else wants to go and hang out with your boy Smitty? I should be. I'll give you final confirmation. Don't buy your plane tickets yet, but it'll be June 29. June 29. June 29. That's the weekend of the Conor McGregor fight. That's the weekend of the Conor fight. So I believe we could watch it there. The Conor fight. So that's the Conor McGregor fight. I think that's that night.
Dude, me and Smitty fight. You want to fight me, dude? We'll fight.
Okay.
JK, LOL. Dude, I would never.
Denny, you can zip it. All right, hey, Denny. Final thoughts. I gotta move on. Final thoughts, Denny. Final thoughts.
Drake May. All right. Hate everyone. Yeah, kind of like Drake May.
Okay.
He's got 4 older brothers, and all the brothers will beat your ass, and that makes it tough. Kind of like Drake May and.
Thank you, sir.
New England.
Sir Ribbit.
Yeah, let me know about that, all right? I'll be there. I swear to God, I'll go there.
All right, Denny, I appreciate you. Zip it. We'll see you.
I appreciate it.
All right, later.
All right, Smitty.
Hey, Travis, congrats on your New England Patriot draft, by the way. I mean, you guys crushed it. Joe Milton was a fantastic pick to go with Drake May. And Denny, if you're listening right now, Joe Milton was a fantastic pick. You could Taysom Hill him if you need to, but wow, what a great, do you guys still have Malik Cunningham?
No, he ended up on the Ravens, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Which is a good spot for him.
Yeah, that's
right. Good spot
for
Cunningham.
Yeah, I like him. That's right. I forgot about that. I was trying to remember where he went. But yeah, between Milton and May,
Bill gave him away.
I don't think between Milton and May you're going to mess up. I think Milton was the guy I wanted for a lot of teams like the Jets, who they got a great backup too. But the Jets, I don't understand why the Raiders didn't say give us Milton. If the Raiders took Milton, I'd be so intrigued. I'm not saying it guarantees you anything. I'm not saying that he's not a big risk, but I'd be intrigued to the moon. I would just be so intrigued by Joe Milton in Las Vegas.
Round pick? Why not?
What are you doing? What's anybody doing? Why are people sitting on this? Why didn't the Cardinals take him? If the Cardinals took Joe Milton, I would have said there's nothing they did wrong in this draft. They got an A++ anyway. But why teams weren't drooling over the fact that they could just take this party trick of a quarterback and just say, we don't know what he is. We don't know what he is. He's a cannon. Like, you could just put him in the game if you need a Hail Mary from the 30-yard line. Put him in the game and say, "This is our Hail Mary specialist." This guy's just a project, no doubt. But why the Raiders didn't say, "What else are we gonna do? We got nothing else to do today. Let's draft Joe Milton." But you guys got Joe Milton, fantastic. You got Polk, who's a very underrated, crafty guy. You did a pretty good draft overall. Other than that, but and then you got Stevenson, who's still great.
Have you looked into Javon Baker at all? He's got a really interesting ceiling. I know he just started to produce at UCF this past year, but he's an interesting prospect.
Yeah, he could be okay. But great job, Travis. Fantastic draft. Anything else, Travis?
No, I think we're good.
All right, man.
Good weekend with the draft.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here. I'm glad we got all these videos out of the way, and then tomorrow I'm going to get to some other ones, but I wanted to get all the handcuff concerns out of the way. The HN video's up. This is the Breece Hall video, not concerned.
Definitely.
The Kiron video's up. So I got all those covered, all those bases covered, separate videos, capture everybody's fear, lock it in a bottle, throw it back in the ocean, and never think about it again. All right, Travis, appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, last thing I'll say, we mentioned it earlier. We both talked about it. Is keep an eye on Bryce Young. He might have some life.
Yeah, I'm excited about Carolina. That a great draft.
Panthers draft. So.
All right, later, bro.
There's actually something there, maybe. Later. Bye.
Cardinals and Eagles killed the draft. Absolutely. Washington as well. And New England did really good. But I'd say the Cardinals and Eagles are two such good teams, rising up. The Eagles do everything right. You know what the Eagles did more than crush the draft? They crushed the entire offseason. Barkley signing, extending, even if they're spending tons of money, they're just doing it right. Extending Devontae Smith, extending A.J. Brown, bringing in Barkley, not being afraid to spend money and spend it right. You've got Jalen Hurts. You got absolutely the best chance to be, I think, the NFC champion at the end of the day. They're my NFC champion pick. And even though I love the Cardinals, I'm very objective and I'm biased to it. I think the Cardinals will get there soon. Might be a calendar year, although they could surprise. But the Eagles crushed it, absolutely crushed it. And then this last super chat here, then I'm going to Sebastian, and then I'll say bye to DeBalt. Hassan, thoughts on Rattler and the Saints? I like it. It's really, really good for Olave. I was a little scared about Derek Carr, and that's all they have. Rattler's got some weird, you could say, people are a little bit worried about that little documentary show or whatever he did when he was in high school, because it just made him look bad. And so a lot of teams said they couldn't draft him because of that. I haven't watched the whole thing or even much of it. But apparently it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths about Rattler. So he slipped a lot. People are kind of avoiding him, but he's such a good potential talent. Him and Joe Milton are very similar to me. I almost like Milton a little bit better. And I know he's a little bit riskier. The floor is definitely a lot lower, but the ceiling's a lot higher on Joe Milton. But I think this is a great shot in the dark, right, for Olave. So thank you, Hassan, for the couple questions you dropped there. Sebastian, final thoughts.
Yeah, since we were talking about Braelon Allen and the Jets, I wanted to bring up another Moon Man who was Corley. Where do you think he's at? Maybe by week 4 of the season. Because Mike Williams is too. He's never healthy. Garrett Wilson's obviously the one, but who else is there? Where do you think Corley at mid-season?
I really love Corley, and I think that Aaron Rodgers. The tough part about Aaron Rodgers is he's developed rookies before, but only when his back's against the wall. He is traditionally thought to be a guy that doesn't bring rookies along quickly, but he's in a whole different mental space. He's in a whole different offense. He's in a whole different, part of his career. And he's still kind of getting to know everybody at the same time. Even still, because he hadn't played with them all year. Obviously knows everybody on a personal level now, but there's nothing like playing a year with players to really get to know him. So in a way, I don't know that he's that far behind. I think Corley's like a Debo. And I guess you could say, and I'm surprised more people don't bring it up, like, he's more of a concern for Breece Hall's numbers than Braelon Allen. Because, like, maybe they dump off to him a lot and it takes away some of Breece Hall's pass-catching numbers. That would be the one thing where someone could come in and say something and I'd be like, I'm not too worried about it, but there's a point of concern where someone can make an argument. Corley's still probably a little ways away from cementing into any consistent work. And rookie wide receivers can translate right away. But most of the time, the guys that blow up walk into an abundance of targets. And I don't know that he's going to find that right away. It's going to take him some time. But he's a fantastic football player for the Jets and good security. And at some point, like you said, Mike Williams will get hurt. He will be the guy commanding more work. And then Corley will mid-season maybe turn into like Flowers. How Flowers had a really, really good, finish to the year. Your boy Flowers. So like you definitely could see that kind of end of the year for Corley. And then he walks into next year very promising. But I wouldn't be shocked if he was like under 700 yards and 4 touchdowns. But I really like him from a football perspective. He's not a moon man. He's a mid-season monster. Which I think I'm not going to take him off. I think what I just mapped out kind of fits the bill for that. So he's a mid-season monster. Adunze.
Oh, apologies for getting that wrong.
No, you don't have to apologize. Adunze's a mid-season monster, and I don't think I'm changing that because I think he's going to be in a crowded room until something happens, and I think this is a good spot for him. Spears is still a mid-season monster the moment Pollard breaks. Hollywood, we put him on the midseason monster list. I forget because we didn't want to squeeze him on a Moon Man list, and we were so excited about him. We were like, we put him on the monster list. Corley, definitely feel like he fits the bill. I'll be honest with you, this list feels a little unsettled. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be changing some stuff. I don't really love this list yet. I need better, more likely to land guys. I'm not happy with this monster list. You know what list I am happy with? Let me play the list. Saturn Men.
The Saturn Men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Not concerned. These are all monsters, and MHJ is the new addition. I lied to everybody. I sent a private secret one-man shuttle when this shuttle of 8 was already heading to Saturn, and everybody thought this was going to be an 8-man mission. I launched a single pod with MHJ in it. He just landed on Saturn, and he's now potentially the leader of this entire group from a dynasty perspective. My Mars men look fantastic. Look at this.
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
McBride.
Mars men.
Jacobs. Stroud. Bowers. I still love Bowers.
Loads dropping
Benson.
and spinning aimlessly in space.
AR5 getting his wide receiver. London. This is a fantastic crew. And then the Moon Men.
The Moon Men.
It's very, very thinned out.
Outer space.
Zamir White's the only Moon Man on the list right now.
Space Moon says.
Penix Jr. I moved over onto the moon and put long term next to him because I think it's important to clarify his new situation. We did not take him off the list. I refused to take him off the list. I put him on this list as one of the first guys to be on one of these lists, him and JD5. And he's just got a little little note, long term, it's going to happen. This is going to be, and I think at some point during the season, long term is what I'm trying to get at. I think at some point, and I hate to say this about Cousins, I'm not trying to predict injury for Cousins, but at some point we very, very well could see Penix Jr. get into the lineup. Cousins is 36 years old. He's rushing back from an Achilles tear. So is Aaron Rodgers. They're both in a little bit of a risky territory. And everyone's rushing back from an Achilles tear when they try and come back in one calendar year. And you're very at risk of tearing the other Achilles. And at 36 years old, I'm concerned. And the moment this guy has a calf strain, he's sitting. That's the problem. Like, no one's even talking about this, and I'll have it on my show later because tomorrow I think I'll do an Atlanta Falcons show to clarify the Penix situation, clarify why it's amazing from fantasy football, complain about everybody that's griping, complaining about it. I'm looking at fantasy football Twitter, and they're like, "This is the dumbest move ever." I can't. Instead of being like, "Hey, I'm a fantasy football content creator, and let me tell you why this is the best thing ever that could have ever happened to Bijan, to London, to Kyle Pitts. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that tomorrow in a video. But Penix Jr., I believe the moment Kirk Cousins has an itty-bitty tiny calf strain, you got to sit him because that turns into an Achilles tear. And calf strains the calf turns into your Achilles. It's one. It turns into your Achilles and connects. And so the moment he sits and the Falcons, let's say, have they're 5-2 or they're 7-3, you can't just be like, oh, we can't put Penix in for the optics because once we put him in, we can't take him out. Let's put in the third string guy, or keep Penix listed as the third guy just so we don't ever have this problem. They got to throw Penix in. And if Penix balls out, then guess what? Every single week that he continues to ball out, you just say, Cousins needs more rest. Cousins needs more rest. And if the wave never crashes, you never take him out. And that's what might happen this year. I really think Penix Jr. is special. I hope to God he gets a fair shot. I know this is a weird situation. We'll go over it more tomorrow. But it's a weird situation, but I'm really excited for him. All right, bro. We'll see you later, Sebastian.
How's it going?
I appreciate you, man. All right, later. DeBolt, final thoughts.
Actually, I wanted to ask you on a dynasty trade, if you don't mind.
All right, real quickly, hit me with it.
I already have the 103 and 110. I've already tried to move to 102 and 101. They're not budging. They want C.J. Stroud or they want Puka Nacua and my 3. I'm like, no, you're crazy. So I'm going to stay at the 103. The question I have is, my running backs are Gibbs, Breece, and Achane. I got an offer for Achane for the 106 this year, the 206 this year, and his second round next year. With the 106, go ahead.
So you'd be getting Achane or giving up Achane? You'd be giving him up?
I'd be giving him up, yeah.
And what were you going to say about this pick? Because I'm going to say hell no, but what are you going to say about
it? Yeah. I just want to get your insight on it. And the only thing I would be looking at would turning Achane into a first round this year, a second rounder, and a second rounder next year is to get either Benson or Brooks to replace him. What do you think?
Well, I think you're saying you're worried about Achane, which I'm not saying you're wrong, because some people do. Some people, you have every right to feel whatever. Does Achane have a lower floor than Benson or Brooks? Maybe not. I mean, we don't really know. But does he have a higher ceiling than both of them? Probably. So you just got to pick your poison. Like if you could for sure on the clock swap him for Trey Benson, I don't hate it. I just wouldn't do it. I would just rather have Achane.
Okay.
I want my shares of Benson. I want my shares of Jonathan Brooks. I really do. But it's, you have a player right now that you're getting lowballed on. And if someone were willing to overpay, like if this is a guy that has vested interest in Miami Dolphin players or something, then you make him give you a future first rounder, or you just walk away and see what he does. But there's no way these seconds do anything for me. And 1.6, you're not guaranteed anything either. I mean, and honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's an understandable move for some people that hate Achane or doubt Achane. I'm just not one of those guys, so I'm going to tell you hell no.
You got it. I just need someone to tell me no.
Well, do what you feel, because
I was already on that fence. But.
Is there a day potentially in the future that Benson moves ahead of Achane for me? It's possible, but is there a chance you don't get Benson here? Benson starts gaining steam before when's your draft? In June?
No, next week.
I mean, we don't know we don't know what tomorrow even looks like with Benson. Benson could be highly touted, or he could not be. The good news is that he's not starting week 1 as of right now, and so maybe he slips. But is it Superflex?
Yeah, I'm good. I have Stroud and Aaron.
So he'll probably fall in a Superflex, the 1.6. I don't know. Chat, I'm very biased toward Achane. Can the chat please vote? Would you rather have, don't worry about the second rounders, would you rather have Achane or Trey Benson or Jonathan Brooks? Please put the player in the chat you'd rather have in a dynasty. I would love to get your collective opinion. I'm going to say hell no, but I do think there's a possibility that I could, like, let's say at the end of the year, be like Benson's ahead of him. I mean, it's possible. I love Benson. I love his landing spot. Yeah. I know I'm really biased right now looking, but I feel like I'm objective about it. It's a coincidence that that my team finally has, something amazing going on. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It just means that I'm hyping them up and everything's finally lining up, but I've never done this before. This is me. This would almost be like me just doing it with the Bengals or the Eagles, or, this is no different. Me hyping up this team right here comes with a little bit more personal excitement, but I'm doing the exact same thing I normally would do. You heard me say the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl potential this year, or the Chiefs will, maybe. The Chiefs will probably three-peat. I don't know. Chiefs versus Eagles feels like my Super Bowl, and I'm not trying to drag my Cardinals into it prematurely or anything. So I think I'm being honest and objective, even though I'm super excited, obviously. Achane, Brooks, other pieces, both. Achane, Brooks, Benson. I would keep Achane for future potential. I'm less biased toward Achane, but Brooks and Benson don't dominate enough yet. Benson's meniscus is slowly dying, says John. Don't listen to John. Brooks, Achane. Yeah. There you go, bro. All right, got to run.
Tough one.
Appreciate you, DeBolt. Later, bro.
All right, thanks.
All right, final thoughts. I don't think. John, you got. I'm gonna put you guys on timers because I gotta get out of here. So as soon as the timer ends, I'm gonna hang up on you and answer the question. Okay, go, John. Josh, I'm sorry, Josh. I'll give you a reset. Josh, go.
Hey, brother. So I know you're big on MHJ. On a team with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, which one of those guys would you ship out to potentially, draft the 101, to get the 101?
JJ. I hate saying it. It's crazy, but bro, he's got Justin McCarthy or JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy is not. He's not my favorite quarterback, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah. It changes things. Like, not only does he, what I'd almost like better. Like, this sounds kind of weird, but I think it's logical. I'd almost rather him be rolling with some sort of rotation, like Minshew and something. I don't want to say Darnold because Darnold's garbage, but because then that you've got some sort of dynasty future quarterback situation upgrade coming. With JJ, this is it. You're stuck with this, and if you believe in him, then fine. But if this is mediocre or mediocrity at play at quarterback, it's going to stay for a while. This is like, look how long it's taking to get rid of Danny Dimes. How long it's taking to get rid of Mac Jones. How long it takes years to really play that out because teams don't want to pull the plug right away. And I'm just a little fearful. And I know Sick Nasty in here, other people might disagree with me, but I think that having JJM cemented in right now gives me at least a sense of where JJ is now limited. Even though he's amazing, his yardage could still be 1,500 yards. It just won't be 1,900 yards probably. It could be 17 maybe. His touchdowns, he was never kind of the biggest touchdown guy. We always thought that could change. Kirk Cousins and him started dicing it up early in the year, and JJ was about to have, I think, that 14, 15, 16 touchdown season in 2023 before the Achilles tear. He was really starting to feel like it was on the verge, and now it's going to be like, if he couldn't get consistently 12 plus touchdowns with Cousins, I don't know, maybe it changes, but I just feel like he gets limited a little bit, and I don't love it. I'd much rather have Jamar Chase, I think. But again, would I keep JJ if the price was right on Jamar Chase? Sure. I guess my final answer to you is sell both of them, and whichever one gets you the best return, you keep the other one. Because if you just pick one, you might miss out on something coming your way. I would just try and trade both of them. It increases your odds of getting a deal done anyway, and kind of let the market decide who you keep because they're both really amazing,
Would you keep him? Just hold him?
I'd rather have MHJ. He's my number one dynasty receiver.
Right. Well, appreciate it, Smitty.
All right, later, bro. Ryan from Denver, as quick as you can, my guy. I'm such a lenient guy with this timer. Yeah.
Goff and Tank Dell for Kiron Williams. What are your thoughts on that? Superflex.
Goff and Tank Dell for Caleb. Okay, so I'm going to give you
my QB3 and wide receiver 6. You like that or no?
Okay, so Caleb. So here's the thing, bro. Goodbye. Dell and Goff. So this is your QB6, Goff?
No, I'm saying Goff is my QB3. Dell is my wide receiver 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. I that's what I meant to say. I just said it backwards. So your QB3, your wide receiver 6 for Caleb. I mean, who are your two QBs?
Hurts and Dak.
Okay.
And Russ, I guess.
Yeah, you could get rid of Goff easily. You know what I do, bro? This is kind of. I try and set up another Caleb deal on the side. The only reason I'm even contemplating this, because I'm not a big Caleb guy, is I believe the market value for Caleb's greater than Dell and Goff. This is a super flex, so I would try and set up, poke around, and be like, if I guess don't talk to people that you think are going to go straight to the Caleb owner, but try and talk to somebody and say, like, if I got Caleb, have you ever done these like contingency trades? If I ever got Caleb, would I be able to get this, and this? And if you can do that and turn essentially Goff and Dell into a different wide receiver that you just like a whole lot more, then all of a sudden I like this move for the mere fact of trading away Caleb. Now, if you love Caleb, bro, and you think Caleb is as good as JD5, then I understand. And in a super flex, like if this was JD5, I would do it. If it's Superflex, I would do this for JD5. So if Caleb's your JD5, don't listen to me. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is, so I'm not doing it. But if you could flip it on the side, I would definitely be very intrigued by setting up a contingency trade. Just make sure it goes through,
Appreciate that. Alrighty.
Yeah. Do you like Caleb like I like JD5? Oh. I don't know if he does. All right. Hey, guys, appreciate you. Thank you for all my super chats. It looks like we got another super chat here. I may have answered this one. I may not have. Let me pull it up here. This is Vidal. Vidal says Superflex 1.4. QB Josh Allen. Running back Barkley. Gibbs. Jacobs. Amazing core there, bro. Adams. Chase. This is a 4-man league. Who should I take if available? Neighbors, JD5, or Dunze? So you haven't given me another quarterback at all. Your wide receivers are amazing, and your running backs are amazing. Your quarterback 1 is amazing. I'd probably in a super flex go JD5 in this situation. If it was MHJ, I'd take MHJ, and I'll go one step further, but I'll say I'd give up this pick and something else to get MHJ. Like, would I give up a future first rounder? Maybe. Because your team's so good. I highly doubt you're going to be giving anything but like a 112, 1.11, 1.10. Would I trade a future first rounder to upgrade this into MHJ? Yes. And you put MHJ next to Adams and Chase with Gibbs, Jacobs, Barkley, Allen, and just wing it at, if that's your flex, super flex, fine. But, I'm still working like Fields trades, trying to get Fields using multiple second rounders. Fields is attainable. You get Fields, I know he's not starting yet. You get Fields, boom, bro. You wait on that. Fields gets in the lineup, you hit it, great. You don't, you give up second rounders. I'd much rather you have future first rounder gone, 1.4 gone, go get MHJ. Trade all your second rounders. You can muster up, get a Justin Fields, bank on that, miss, no problem, hit it, win your league. That's my mind. I'm crazy. Don't go by me though. If that sounds too nuts to you, if you're like an anxiety type person, My type of stuff probably would drive you nuts. All right, I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Smitty, would you trade you his car to be able to select MHJ? I would not trade my vehicle for MHJ. If you told me MHJ would be removed from the Cardinals and they'd swap him with McConkey, or I lose my vehicle, I'd keep my vehicle, unfortunately. Appreciate you all. Live when big news breaks. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate all of you on YouTube. Hit that thumb up button on your way out the door. If you're on Twitter, please get on over to YouTube and subscribe. Thank you to all my super chatters. Appreciate you all. Thank you, David Klein, with the $20 hauler to start the show. Rock Out, Terry with the doubles, Asan with the doubles, Handed, and Sir Rupert with the super chat. Asan with the triple, I'm sorry. And then Vidal with the final super chat. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Make the show go round. On that note, I give you Breece Hall.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a whole of a job. A whole of a job. A whole of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon.
He does a jale bag.
Get Breece.
He's Kiron. He's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kiron. He can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Hey, Chan. Hey, Chan is the man. His haters call him small.
But he is 9 feet tall.
Chan is the man.